Hey listeners, so today's fault episode actually comes because I was playing a video game the other day, and there's a story, so listen up. I was playing this video game called Ready or Not with some friends, and it's one of those video games where like you're in different rooms, like different houses, like you're in your own house, but you're talking to your friends. Anyway, you're part of like a SWAT team, and in one mission we had to break into like this like fancy schmancy high-rise building, and so like we're hunting terrorists and like trying to rescue the hostages, and then I walk into this one room, and what do I see? The Barcelona chair. So of course, I just ran up to it and I'm talking about it, and my character's looking at it, and I'm like trying to tell my friends who are trying to hunt down the terrorists and rescue the hostages about this chair. So while they're all doing that, I'm like staring at this chair, and then I got shot and killed. Just because I was staring at a chair. So anyway, chairs are on my mind. So I wanted to re-release our 4 MCM chairs episode, so you guys can enjoy listening to the Barcelona chair and then 3 other ones. And who knows, maybe we can take a seat on 4 more chairs this upcoming season. But don't worry, we'll be back in January with all new content. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show in whichever podcast platform you prefer so you don't miss an episode. You can also follow us on YouTube and Instagram at MCL Podcast. Instagram is the best place to send us feedback and episode suggestions. Send us a DM at any time. You can also contact us through the Send Us a Text Message feature in our show notes. So take a seat, so to say, and enjoy this episode.
Welcome to Mid-Century Living, your weekly nostalgia podcast about the best of technology and culture from the mid-20th century.
Welcome back to Mid-Century Living, the show where we talk all about the best of the mid-20th century and how to add vintage vibes to your modern life. We're your hosts, Jackie
and Gonzalo. Thank you for joining us today. So we are going to talk today about 4 mid-century chairs you need to make sure you sit on at some time. But first, Jackie, how was your day or week?
My week was fine. It snowed in Dallas, which happens every year, and every year I hate it because basically the whole world closes down. Like the whole city just decides that it's canceled the day. This week or this year, it was 2 days in a row because the thing is, it's not like light, fluffy, happy snow like it is in the movies, or at least in DFW. What we get is a light coating of snow, and then it melts a little bit, and then it freezes overnight, and then there's more snow on top of that, and it's just a danger, and basically just everyone has to just lock themselves in their houses and not go anywhere, or try really hard to get to work and flip over cars and stuff. Like, it's just terrifying.
Yeah.
But there were some, like, endearing moments, like there was enough snow that kids could make snowmen, so like the neighborhood looked really cute and picturesque, but and I got to work from home for 2 days, so that was swell. But I'm really hoping that's the only one because I hate that. I don't like winter.
I love winter.
Really? I'm just so ready for spring already, and it's January.
I love winter. I have no problem with snow and ice being around me. I've got more of a problem with people around me thinking that they can drive. But we are also... So Houston gets snow every few years. And when I say snow, I mean like more ice than what Jackie just described. And typically, if a big hurricane hits the Gulf Coast of Texas, we get significant snowfall that winter. We didn't get any big hurricanes actually we got Beryl. I guess maybe that counts. But anyway, we are getting snow. We're forecasted to get snow this upcoming week. So for us recording, it's the upcoming week. For you listening, it's 2 weeks ago. So you guys tell me if we got snow. But the best part is that the weather people are forecasting school closures, which as a teacher is like... It's like,
yeah, there's your bonus
best.
days off. You were saying that it was going to be a whole vacation drought until spring break, but
true.
here you go.
That's true. Yeah.
Do they tack them on to the end of the school year? Is that how snow days work?
Typically, if it's just a couple, then nah. If it's substantial, then yeah. But as long as I've been a teacher, we've never had to adjust days at the very end of the calendar.
Nice.
But the students get adjusted if need be, because there's several days of the year where like teachers work but there's no students. So those are weather days for students.
Oh, neat.
So, but yes, I'm excited. I love winter. I love cold. And Jackie was talking about the picturesque neighborhood, and my house is the only house of my street that does not have a tree in the front lawn. And trees typically keep the ground a little bit warmer. And for Houston, it's warm enough that there's no snow under the trees. So my street or my house, my lawn, I guess, is the neighborhood's playground when there's snow. So
Oh,
there's like
that's
footprints
nice.
all over the place. Yeah, yeah, it's nice, but also like it's a private house. Like you don't like go away.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure the kids making snowmen in my neighborhood had to like steal snow from adjacent yards. Since you like snow, I hope you get snow.
Fingers
So
crossed.
fingers crossed for you. So let's get on with the show.
There we go. Yes. Okay. So I'm excited. This show was inspired by our not latest, one of a few episodes ago, interview with Tom Beatty from the Pan Am podcast, because he mentioned one of the chairs that we have to talk about. So when I was re-listening to the episode, I remember hearing it, and I was like, "Oh, I want to talk about chairs." So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about chairs. 4 chairs that
Cool.
you have to sit on before anything.
I like it. So we've covered mid-century modern design on the pod before, but one huge part of MCM is its attention to detail to a whole house design. Meaning the houses are not just MCM, everything in them is MCM, including the furniture. Public space furniture like chairs and tables are very evidently made to fit seamlessly in an MCM space.
Yes, and they're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start first off with the Eames. Okay, the Eames molded plastic chair, also known as the Eames molded fiberglass chair.
Mm.
So Charles and Ray Eames were American interior designers, actually a husband and wife, who were key figures in the development of mid-modern and modern architecture and furniture.
We actually covered Charles and Ray Eames in episode 34, and if you haven't listened to that episode yet, we recommend you go download it and listen to it when you finish this one. Bonus points if you listen to it while sitting on an Eames molded plastic chair or any other Eames furniture. We'll link it in the show notes for your convenience.
Yep, we're going to link it. But a quick rundown of the Eames office, the firm that brought us the molded plastic chair. So the design office of Charles and Ray Eames functioned as a design firm for more than 4 decades, from 1943 through 1988. Charles and Ray worked a lot, approximately 13-hour days. They oversaw their team of design collaborators, and they believed in, quote, learning by doing. This means that before either of them brought a new project to the firm, they explored the needs and constraints of the idea extensively to make sure it was all thought out first. The office designed, then produced many furniture pieces. Yes, many chairs. We actually covered a little bit of Eames chairs in the Eames episode, the Eames Lounger.
Yes, our favorite chair.
Yes.
My favorite chair, or at least my favorite chair of the entire mid-century. And
Maybe it'll change for this.
yeah, maybe.
Anyway, the chair we want to discuss today, however, is the molded plastic chair, also known as the Eames fiberglass chair. This chair debuted in 1950, and the idea for the chair actually came from the Eames' entry to the MoMA competition in 1948. The museum's challenge was to create an international competition for low-cost furniture design, and it's believed that the Eames chair is perfect resolution for that challenge. Through the years, the fiberglass or plastic chair has taken many forms, but the overall theme is a chair that is molded in a way where the seat and backrest are part of the same piece. That is then mounted on a base, but the base can be different depending on your style. Sometimes it's a rocker base to, rock back and forth. It can be a 4-leg tubular base, it can be a cast aluminum pedestal, and it even comes in a swivel. The legs, or whatever you choose, are connected to the plastic chair using the rubber shock mounts that Charles developed for their plywood furniture, which we talked about in a previous episode. Originally, they came in 3 colors. One called Greige, which is a combination of gray and beige. The second color called Elephant Hide Gray. And the third one called Parchment, which is the natural color of parchment made in fiberglass with a clear resin and added with a touch of gray or black. But with time, variety of colors would be introduced and made available. The chair was at first envisioned as seating for the home, but quickly became known for its public uses. It's very easy to keep clean. It's very practical with many uses, and it's light yet robust, so it can be used in many places. The side chair is the most popular version. It was used widely in public spaces, probably because it looked very, quote, normal. This means that it was easy to be overlooked as just a chair. Thousands of people have sat in these and not even realized that they're sitting on a piece of MCM history. It was very visible in design circles, yet pretty invisible to the general public. Originally, it was made out of fiberglass. This chair paired very well with the rest of the Eames's plywood group furniture, including their dining sets. In fact, it's often paired in such a way, creating seating for dining. But it could also be used in exterior or outdoor settings. Eventually, technological advances in material use made the chair unfavorable, and production stopped, for a short time at least, in the 1990s. In 1998, the chair made its return with shelves made out of polypropylene, a strong and resilient material, a plastic. After being reintroduced in this new material, the chair remained popular. And today, it can be found in the Eames furniture dealers, Vitra and Herman Miller. You can search for it as the Eames shell chairs. And this kind of puts together the Eames plastic chair, which is made out of the polypropylene, and the Eames fiberglass chair, which is made out of fiberglass. The molded plastic side chair sells new for $445, although at the time of recording, it is on sale at Herman Miller for 20% off. It is fully customizable in color and base type and finish, and it has fully recyclable plastic options too that come in a larger variety of colors than regular plastic, which incidentally only comes in one, white. The molded plastic armchair, which is a slightly bigger version of the side chair, sells new for $845, although at time of recording, also currently 20% off.
Not enough percent off.
I know. I did not write down what the sale price was because I don't know how long they'll be on sale. But 20% of 845 is still a lot of money
For one chair?
for one chair.
And you need to buy 4 at least if you're putting them at the dinner table.
Not if you live in a studio apartment.
That's true.
Anyway, the armchair is also fully customizable, like the side chair, but this one can also be made into the rocker.
So this chair, honestly, is as relevant today as it was in the 1950s when it first rose to prominence. It has outlived competitors and the changes to how we live and function both at home and the workplace. Its iconic status has led to a lasting impact on design. The Eames chair's transition from fiberglass to polypropylene, now to recycled materials, reflects a commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibility. If you want to bring this chair's vibe into your modern life, you should, of course, purchase an original, but they are expensive, as we just covered. There are also many knockoffs, so if you're getting a replica, consider the following when making a choice. What plastic is being used for the chair? Some might be harder or more reflective, glossy. One plastic may be more resilient, but others more affordable. Regarding the base, what wood is being used? Be wary of furniture manufacturers who use dyed or finished in describing their bases, but may not be explicit in what wood they use, which could affect its finish and quality. The thickness of the seat. Thicker is usually more durable. And feet gliders. This is the end of the base feet, which helps the chair slide on hard surfaces. That's not part of the original, but it could be helpful.
Yes.
So usual prices for replicas vary, some from the low hundreds to the high 300s. Simply put, be wary if someone tries to sell you an original or the real Eames molded plastic chair for under $100.
Yes. Unless you are at a garage sale or a estate sale, in which case, buy them all.
Yeah.
Where I've seen, I guess, inspired by this a lot. We actually had an IKEA plastic chair in an office, and looking back, it was definitely inspired by this chair.
I think I know exactly which IKEA chair you're talking about, and if I recall correctly, they also let you pick what legs you want on it. Like, it's the same kind of concept, where
Yes.
it's like the chair base, and then you pick your bottoms.
Yes, we had a swivel one.
Cool.
It was not comfortable.
The next chair you simply must sit on, we have mentioned before in the podcast. Actually, it was our guest Tom Betty that Gonzalo mentioned earlier. He's the one who mentioned that he had one of these, the womb chair, designed by Eero Saarinen.
Yes, we really must do a whole episode on Saarinen, shouldn't we?
Yes, we absolutely should. But in the meantime, here's a brief history. So, he was a Finnish-born American architect and designer, and one of the pioneers of MCM furniture design. He worked with Charles and Ray Eames to develop the plywood group of furniture. One of our favorite things that Saarinen is known for is the most mid-century thing a house can have, a conversation pit. which, as many of you know, these are sunken portions of the living room in which usually built-in seating created an environment of conversation and community. And someplace to trip after a couple cocktails.
True, yes. Don't fall into the conversation pit. Fall into conversation, but not into the pit.
So, the womb chair. Saarinen designed this chair in 1946 for Florence Knoll, another American interior designer and architect, in her own right a very well-known designer who is credited with revolutionizing office design. Her request was to create a chair that looked like a basket of pillows. I love that. Knoll challenged him to create a chair where she could lounge any which way. This helps the chair accommodate any type of sitting or posture. It is quite literally named after its structure, designed to resemble the shape of a womb, though its original name was Model 70. According to Saarinen, it was designed on the theory that a great number of people have never really felt comfortable and secure since they left the womb.
Deep.
Yeah. It's made up of a fiberglass frame that is surrounded by foam, all of which is upholstered in high-quality wool fabric or sometimes leather. It also includes a small pillow on the back upholstered in the same wool fabric. It has a pair of armrests that are parallel to the floor and at the perfect height for lounging. To create its flowing form, Saarinen and Knoll experimented with a new material at the time that was being used by the U.S. Navy for vessel hulls. This was minimalistic and durable. Saarinen wanted a reinforced fiberglass and resin chair for the prototype, so they worked with a New Jersey boat builder, overcoming problems and failures until the chair worked. Roughly 75 years after being introduced, the chair is still sold today and totally customizable, down to the frame finish. You can choose from a variety of upholstery types, colors, and finishes. You can get your very own womb chair at Knoll International for the reasonable price of $7,795. Though at the time of recording, it is 20% off.
Yay, sales! Go buy one. And then ship it to my house.
It is sold in 2 sizes, standard and medium, and its upholstery options amount to over 150 fabrics and colors. The base can be made in polished chrome, gold, or black. I don't think it's real gold.
I don't think it's real gold either. I think it's just the color name they chose, which is very misleading, because for $8,000, I expect my chair to be made out of gold.
You can buy an accompanying ottoman, which Knoll introduced in 1948 with the chair, and was designed by Saarinen as well, which runs a bit over $2,000. You walk into a house with a womb chair. This is a fancy house.
I am so jealous of people who own this chair.
Man, why do we have such expensive taste?
I don't know. Just wait until the next few chairs. I would love this chair, but out of the 4 we're going to talk about today, it's the second chair that I would purchase.
Cool.
However, we have to mention how this chair has been featured in mid-century ads. Particularly in one Coca-Cola ad from 1956 during the holiday season, where Santa is seen taking a break and enjoying a cold Coca-Cola beverage, of course, whilst sitting on a womb chair. The chair reinvented the idea of comfort. Architectural Digest has said of this chair that, quote, sometimes a chair is just a chair, but that's not the case here. The womb chair is first-class seating all the way, end quote.
Mm-hmm.
Time has also given us a few variations, and I don't mean Time the magazine, I mean Time the linear.
Time the concept.
Yes. A child's womb chair is one variation, which is a womb chair at 75% of the standard size, and it's also giving us a settee, which is perfect for 2.
Cute.
Here's a couple of hints on how to spot fakes. Sit on it. Genuine womb chairs are 40 inches wide, 34 inches deep, and 35.5 inches high, but knockoffs tend to be larger. The chair has also inspired furniture designers to create replicas that look close to the original. Replicas also run cheaper. High-end replicas can be found for around $1,500 to $2,000. IKEA has a couple of chairs that, while they're not replicas or copies, are very evidently inspired by the womb chair, specifically the Vedbo armchair and the Sotenes armchair.
Neither of them look quite as comfortable, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, you can very much tell that they're inspired by, but there's no messing with the original. Like, if something ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find, most likely, a real one for a more reasonable price than from Nala International if you search online, like eBay and estate sale.
Marketplace, yeah, that kind of thing.
Are you just looking at pictures while I talk?
Yeah. Is that why? Do I sound distracted?
No, you're looking down.
Well, I had to look up the IKEA ones. Like, each of them kind of looks like half of the womb chair.
Yes.
Like, the Satanas armchair looks like the middle, and the Vedbo looks like the edges and the armrests. But,
Yes.
like, neither of them, since they're only half the chair, they don't look comfortable. I think the womb chair, I mean, clearly it was designed to be the most comfortable chair in the universe.
Yes.
And IKEA's little inspiration pieces just kind of miss the mark. But it would be a good budget way to get that vibe in your living room. So,
Definitely.
better than nothing.
Cool. So we can't have a design episode without bringing up one of my all-time favorite architects and designers, Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. I know I mentioned him before in our podcasts, and actually he's one of my mid-century dinner guests, so he really should have his own episode as well. I am sorry I failed you guys as a podcaster by not bringing you this before. But quick brief on who he is. Ludwig Mies van der Rohe was a German architect and a key definer of the mid-century modern movement. His work is known for simplicity, open spaces, and use of industrial materials. His accolades include working alongside Walter Gropius and Le Corbusier, as well as being part of the Bauhaus movement and the head of the Illinois Institute of Technology's Architecture Department, a school that I would have loved to go to and attend it when I studied architecture. So, without further ado, we are talking about the Barcelona chair. So this chair was originally designed in 1929, but becomes even more popular as the mid-century moves into prominence. Its lines are characteristic of Mies and his architectural style. So the structure, okay, I'm going to nerd out. It's pretty cool. Okay, so from the side, the chair is very mathematical. If you look at it from the side, like side profile, it's actually inscribed in a square, which means that it fits inside of a square, and was one of the first chairs to be studied for its geometry of design. It is supported on each side by two chrome-plated flat steel bars. These actually have two separate shapes, though at first glance they might look like simple curves. One bar is a single curve that supports the backrest of the chair and swoops down to become the front legs. The arc is 1/4 of a circle, where the height of the chair, dictates the radius of said circle. The other bar is an S-curve that starts at the cantilevered front seat, right, where you sit on it, and swoops back down, becoming the rear legs. It also intersects the first bar at almost exact center of the chair. The front of the S-curve is actually an arc section of a circle with the same radius as the back curve, while the back portion of the S is an arc section of a circle that is 50% of the front, meaning that instead of the chair's height being the circle's radius, the chair's height dictates the diameter of the back leg.
Man.
So cool.
Okay, that's a lot of math and tech talk, but basically it's like a perfectly designed chair.
It is so amazing.
That's really cool. But getting away from the math, can we get back to like the aesthetics?
Yes. Sorry. The cantilevered seat and the backrest are upholstered cushions that originally were done in white kid leather with welt and button details. The original design was for the German pavilion of the Barcelona Exposition of 1929, which would have been attended by the King of Spain, so Mies created an, quote, important chair, a very elegant chair, that was built for a king and for circumstances where, quote, you couldn't just use a kitchen chair. The chair was very expensive to produce, and very few were made in its first 15 years until World War II started, when the chair was not produced. And here's where it becomes a key part of the mid-century. Production resumed once Mies emigrated to the USA and Knoll International took over, who've been producing the chair since the mid-century. Today, you can own your very own Mies Barcelona chair, which is still manufactured today. Of course, the best place to find it is Knoll International for the low, low price of $7,995. Although, in what seems to be a growing trend today, at the time of recording, it is listed at 20% off. The frame finish is set at its polished chrome. Why mess with the original? But you can customize it to your liking with over 50 different leather styles and colors.
It really is something, this chair.
It is so cool.
It is, man, I really wish it wasn't $8,000 because it would be so, like, they would look great in a pair with like a...
Yeah, $16,000. That's a car.
No, like, that's a shame. But I get if his idea of designing this was like when you have the king come visit and you need a very, very special chair. So maybe he's thinking you only have one of them. But
Well, he built
anyway.
originally for the king, for the pavilion. They made two.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
yeah, they do. They just look good. It
they're
looks good in
intended to come
pairs.
in pairs, I guess.
Just how like the Eames fiberglass, you need at least four. Like that.
Yeah,
Those should be around a table. That would be the
exactly. And
best.
this should be everywhere in my house right now.
Just in every room. Two in every room.
Two in every room.
Man. But yeah, this chair is actually so important that it's actually in MoMA. One chair made in 1953 can be found in the MoMA in New York on floor 1 South, which is off the 53rd Street entrance. You make a left, go past tickets, past the museum store, and the stairs elevator to the galleries into the 1 South gallery.
Mhm.
If you happen to be standing in Manhattan right now,
Go.
you could go look at it.
It's before tickets, so it's free.
It's one of the most recognized objects of the mid-century and an icon of MCM design. The chair oozes elegance and is in complete harmony with Mises' maxim of less is more. But here's how to spot a fake. So the best way to experience this chair is, of course, by owning an original, though several competitors create unlicensed replicas. The best way to spot a fake is to look for the facsimile of Mises' signature, which is stamped onto every handmade chair sold at Knoll's. The signature is located next to the Knoll Studios logo on the back right leg. You can also count the cushion panels. There should be 40 individual hand-welted and hand-tufted panels. The upholstery straps of the original are dyed to match the upholstery color, and the frame should be a continuous piece of steel.
I have no words. This chair is so amazing. This is the number one chair I would own. We did have some in architecture school, in our school, in the library. So I have
You
sat
had
in this
all
chair.
the best furniture in your
Architecture school.
life.
I mean, Vanderrohe, Mies. Like when I was researching this episode, I was like, I should drive to U of H right now and go sit in this chair.
You should. So, the last chair we're going to cover today, I think, was also something that popped up in our interview with Tom, but not sure it made it into the final episode. But the egg chair by Danish designer Arnie?
Arnie?
By Danish designer Arnie Jacobsen. Jacobsen was a Danish architect and designer, famously known for his design of the SAS Royal Hotel in Copenhagen from 1960. He's widely regarded as a prominent figure of the MCM design movement and for his emphasis on functional and minimalist approach. Many modernist principles blending with the organic shapes make up his furniture design, including both the egg chair and his other known chair, the swan chair. Both are actually from the same year, 1958. So this chair matches the SAS Royal Hotel in its icon status. Indeed, many consider it to be Jacobsen's principal design. It is an organic sculptural form that was actually developed using a new approach. Instead of a steel frame and wood that is then upholstered, the chair was originally shaped in hard foam, which was then upholstered and padded. Originally manufactured by furniture designer Fritz Hansen, Jacobsen experimented with malleable materials like plaster and clay to work out the characteristic shape of an egg. It's very hard to describe the shape of the egg. Its defining characteristic is its organic, curved shape that looks like part of an eggshell. It features a high back that envelopes the person sitting in it, creating a cocoon-like effect. It's made from molded fiberglass and upholstered in leather or fabric. Its base is a slender single stem that splits into 4 legs and provides 360 degrees of rotation. You can actually still purchase the Egg Lounge chair today and sit on it in its whole glory. You can select from pre-designed combinations or design your own configuration. There are 4 pre-designed configurations that come in 4 different upholstery and base finishes. If you create your own, you have over 25 different upholstery choices and 5 different finishes for the base. You can't buy it online, though, since Fritz Hansen International does not support online purchasing, but you can find it at all stores that sell Fritz Hansen designs. Their website has a pretty extensive store locator, and it also makes for finding a good price hard for the podcast because it doesn't have its own personal store. Most research points you to replicas that are inspired by these furniture pieces, actually. It seems that most original prices range from $14,000 to $16,000, making it the most expensive chair on this list. The replicas or inspired by pieces are often in the 1500s.
Which sounds reasonable when you compare it to the original price, but you're still paying $1,500 for a chair.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's like, do I want to buy this chair? Do I want to buy a car? Do I want to pay the mortgage?
So true.
Yes. It's really cool though, I will say. So, since its creation, it has become synonymous with style and exclusivity. Frequently, it graces the covers of fashion and design magazines throughout the world. Its organic shape and design, combined with its minimalistic aesthetic, make it resonate with the way people design today. Probably started by millennials, newer generations are more minimalistic and simple in their design choices, which makes the Egg Lounge chair a coveted piece for living rooms and living spaces, and probably what drives its price so high. It has been said that it would not be able to be designed today since its manufacture of the glued upholstery is not sustainable practice. This has actually led to furniture designers looking for more sustainable ways and materials for this type of chair. It has inspired many furniture designers to make similar or replicas. So here's some top tips on how to spot a fake. The first way you'll notice if it's a fake is the price tag. In this case, you can equate price with quality for sure. Underpriced chairs are likely going to be fake. Second thing is manufacturer quality. An original egg chair is hand sewn. This means that the seams will be on the edges. In fakes, sometimes the seams are in odd places. There's also a handy dandy tag. Look for the label attached to the fabric. They also have a date for when the chair was made. Newer pieces have a label that says, quote, Republic of Fritz Hansen, end quote. From 2006 to 2010, they used a red tag, moving to a brown one in that year. Older pieces will have a stamp under the chair on its base that reads, quote, Made in Denmark by Fritz Hansen. And first edition chairs will have a stamp that reads, quote, FH Made in Denmark. Any final thoughts on the egg chair?
No, it's just really cool, and I like that it swivels. I really think it makes a huge impact. Like, this is a good, of all of them, they're all, like, really impressive and obvious mid-century chairs, but I think this one really makes an impact. It's like the evil villain chair. Like,
it is. It's like a wingback chair that from mid-century.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I can see this one, like two of these flanking one of those like hanging mid-century fireplaces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely need a hanging fireplace for this chair.
So which chair is your favorite out of all of them?
You know, I think of these, the egg chair might be my favorite, but it's also the most expensive one. But I just really think, like, it makes an impact. Your favorite chair, I think, looks the most easily blendable to modern living. Like,
It's so cool.
the Barcelona chair, I think, would fit in many modern living rooms, and just, like, it looks more timeless than the rest of them. But if you want someone to walk in and be like, whoa, mid-century, like, you get an egg chair.
True. I can see that. I will say, like, they all have, like, very specific purposes in my mind. Like you said, the egg chair is the statement, the, like, wow, mid-century. Barcelona chair is just amazing. Mm-hmm. The classic chair is your kitchen chair. And then the womb chair is like the comfortable, it's raining outside, I'm going to curl up with a blanket and read a book chair.
Yeah. And I like that it's comfortable from any position, too. Like, you can sit on it any which way, and it's still comfortable. It looks like the most comfortable of all of them, for sure. But the egg chair is definitely the statement of the bunch, so that one's my favorite, I think, from these four.
Good. If any of y'all have sat on any of these chairs, please let us know what your favorite one is. So, now that we've caught up to the present, it's time for our etiquette segment. Jackie, what do we have today?
So, I'm back to Amy Vanderbilt's guide this week, and this one comes from chapter 36, Hosts and Guests. My idea for the transition was that if you have a lot of great MCM chairs, you want to invite friends over to sit on them, or at least look at them. So this is all about basic etiquette for greeting guests and seeing them off when you're hosting a party. So, arrivals and departures. The street door is open to guests by butler, houseman, or maid, or by some designated member of the family. Whoever opens the door takes the guest's coat and hat and leads the way to the living room, stepping back to let him enter. Both the host and hostess excuse themselves to their guests and come forward to greet the new guest every time. And the same little ceremony is repeated when the guest departs. Often there's an awkward pause in conversation when a new person is introduced to a group, so to avoid this, when there are more than 5 or 6 people present, introduce new guests only to those immediately, like, around them when you walk them into the living room. And then from there on, he moves about and introduces himself to the people he hasn't met yet, or someone from that first group can, like, take him in hand and present him to others.
Okay.
to see the guest off, whether a servant or the host or some other family member sees a guest to the door is never closed until the guest is actually underway on foot or by car. Like, actually leaving.
Okay, I like that.
In apartments, a servant or the host summons the elevator and waits until the guest has entered the elevator before closing the apartment door, which is the apartment equivalent of that.
Mm-hmm.
If there is no host at the party, really what she means is like if there's no man at the party, a single woman entertaining alone without servants delegates the role of host to some male guest, a relative, or a close friend at the party. But if it's a party of women and there's no servant to greet the guests at the door, a friend may be asked to do so that the hostess will not have to leave her guests every few minutes at a large party to go to the door. The friend, if he or she doesn't know the new guest, introduces him or herself and then leads the way to the living room. If many guests are arriving all at once, the person at the door indicates where the coats are to be left, and the guests themselves, when ready, find their own way to the living room and greet the hostess before joining any friends who may be present.
Huh.
So if you were tasked with acting as host for a bachelor girl, the man who is asked to take on some of the responsibilities of host at the home of an eligible woman may open the door to guests and see them off, fetch chairs, mix drinks, help serve, and clear dishes where there are no servants, and, in general, help make the guests comfortable. If he does seem very much intimate of the household in this way, there is possibly some speculation concerning his exact relationship to the hostess. To allay such speculation, a bachelor girl may designate more than one acting host from among her friends. The acting host must leave with the last guest, though, if it's late in the evening. Even if the relationship between host and hostess is quite intimate, a gentleman must always go to elaborate lengths to avoid anything that might appear to be compromising. Even an announced engagement doesn't free him of this obligation.
Interesting.
So it got a little wild at the end there, but what do we think of these etiquette tips?
I like them. I've always thought that like there's like a song and dance that you need to follow. And I don't know, when leaving, like growing up, when my family have friends over, like my parents always walk to the door, and then like oftentimes we'll walk like not like far, but like, you know, stand there until they drove off.
My favorite thing about this is the idea of designating a door person at large parties so that the hostess or the person throwing the party doesn't have to like stop what they're doing and go to the door every time. Is a lot.
I like that. I loved, and so I think we should approve these as like these should be rules to follow at parties. But I love that it's like very rigid. Like the host always takes the code. The host always introduces, except unless there's too many people, and then would be like just point at the coat room, be like just put your coat there, and then go join the party.
Yeah, it's like a very strict except for in like large crowd situations. So I feel like it's adaptable.
Yes.
And I think I'm going to adapt the tip of like someone's job is the door.
Yes.
You're a door person.
Yes.
This is your job.
Go stand over there.
Anyway, yeah, I agree. I think we should approve these tips. I think they're neat.
Sounds good. We will approve them. And with that, it looks like we have sat on the chair. Thank you all for listening today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the show and tell a friend.
You can also follow us on YouTube and Instagram at MCL Podcast. Instagram is the best place to send us feedback and episode suggestions, so send us a DM anytime. And you can also contact us through the Send Us a Text Message feature in the show notes.
Yeah, so send us some fan mail. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye!
Thank you for listening to Mid-Century Living. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and leave a review. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at MCL Podcast. See you next Friday.